work for every U.S. citizen born after December 31st, 2024, before January 1st, 2029, the federal government will make a one-time contribution of $1,000 into a tax-deferred account that will track the overall stock market. In other words, it'll be pegged to an index that we'll pick, right, Michael? We'll pick it. We'll pick a good one. Maybe you should be the index. I'd like to have that. These kids would be very wealthy if that were the case. That would be good. I think we might do that, Michael Dell. These accounts will be private property controlled by the child's guardians, and in many cases, those guardians will be the parents. We think probably the parents will be the guardians. They'll be open for additional private contributions each year from family, friends, parents, employers, churches, private foundations, and more. This is a pro-family initiative that will help millions of Americans harness the strength of our economy to lift up the next generation, and they'll really be getting a big jump on life, especially if we get a little bit lucky with some of the numbers and the economies into the future.
Hey, what's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. Picture this. You're scrolling through your crypto portfolio. Heart is racing as Bitcoin surges, but something feels off. The market's buzzing, yet there's a shadow looming. Decisions being made behind closed doors that could flip your investments upside down. What if the rules of the games are about to change and you're the last to know? Hey, what's going up? I'm Ryan Huggins. Welcome to today's crypto news, where we cut through all of the noise and keep you ahead of the curve. Now, imagine missing out on the next big altcoin because you didn't see the signs. Well, today we're diving into massive stories shaking up the crypto world. The SEC's new deadline for ProShares game-changing amendment, a surprising contender for the Federal Reserve's top job, and why banks are suddenly hungry for crypto exchanges. These aren't just headlines, they're signals that could shape your next trade. So stick with me until the end, because I will be sharing an exclusive all-access peek at Altcoin Pro community where we decode these moves together. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news happening in the financial world today. We'll also jump over to Forex Factory so you know what red folder news you need to be looking for tomorrow. We will also be jumping into the XRP charts, looking for the next support and resistance. Plus, we'll be checking out the long-term and short-term momentum waves. And by the way, if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here on this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you're still feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. So first things first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. We are at 3.45 trillion total market cap. Crypto market looking to surge past the current 30-day high from May 22nd of 2025 at 3.53 trillion. Had a good surge up most of the day today, had a slight pullback at the end of the day. $142 billion worth of total volume. Fear and greed continues to tick up a tad. We're in the greed area again, in that green area. Just broke out of the neutral zone. Yesterday was a 64. Today's a 65. Last week was a 57. Altcoin season index continues to climb. We're at 31. Yesterday, a 30. And last week was 24. Bitcoin dominance still holding strong at 63.2%. Bitcoin ETFs had a very small inflow, only $18 million worth of inflow today, bringing the total of this week to $404 million of inflows into Bitcoin. Ethereum continues to have steady positive inflows to the upside. Today, $18 million worth of inflows into the ETFs for Ethereum. So far this week, already $70 million worth of inflows. Last week, $281 million. Top 5 cryptos by total market cap. Bitcoin number 1, currently at $109,000. Ethereum number 2 at $27.86. Tether number 3 at $1. XRP at $2.28. BNB at number 5 at $668. And we'll throw in Solana number 6, $163. Tomorrow, we do have big news coming out for CPI, which is the inflation numbers. We'll take a look at that at 5:30 a.m. Followed up by Thursday, we'll have the PPI numbers and the most important number of the week, unemployment claims, which will be coming out Thursday. And then on Friday, consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Make sure you subscribe because we'll cover those numbers for you tomorrow. Heading over to X, as you saw in the beginning, could this be the next wave of liquidity? When these children turn 18, they can start releasing massive amounts of money. Trump signed a bill giving every child born from 2025 to 2029 a $1,000 stock market linked investment account. All unborn American kids are about to get indirect Bitcoin exposure. As you heard in the video, which index funds are they going to use? Potentially the new crypto index fund that has been launched. And in some bad news for crypto today, Connecticut bans state investment in Bitcoin and virtual currencies as it passes the bill HB 7082 into law while imposing additional requirements on money transmitters. Now, that is the current administration in Connecticut. Who knows what will happen in the next administration, but right now, it is not going to happen. There is going to be no strategic Bitcoin reserve for the state of Connecticut. And in an interesting move, the House Agriculture Committee advances major crypto market structure legislation with a 47-6 vote, moving the Clarity Act closer to a full House vote. This legislation addresses longstanding regulatory gap with the CFTC gaining authority over crypto spot markets due to broader agreement on the role, as noted by a crypto lobbyist in a Decrypt report, contrasting with the SEC's stricter oversight debates in the Financial Services Committee. And as we were talking about in the intro, the SEC has set a new effective date of June 25th for the ProShares resignation amendment, initially filed on January 17th, 2025. Bullish signals incoming, huge for XRP because this is a spot ETF offering as well. And take a look at this. Senator Loomis showing you how strong it has been getting as far as our new administration being pro-crypto. We know Loomis has been crypto, but she's fighting for it tooth and nail. Bitcoin and digital assets are being unfairly targeted because of flawed tax rules. We need crypto revisions in reconciliation. And for all you super XRP army, XRP bulls out there, now we have Robert Kiyosaki. As you know, he's been all about gold and silver, and then he was into Bitcoin, but now he's saying that 1,000 XRP could make you the wealthiest person in your entire family. Great job, Robert Kiyosaki. So Kiyosaki's shift from Bitcoin advocacy, crediting it for his wealth in a 2025 Bitcoinist.com article, to endorsing XRP is a move that contrasts with his earlier criticism of altcoins, possibly reflecting his broader strategy of promoting diversified crypto investments amid global economic instability. And huge trade alert. These are always fun to watch and pay attention to. A whale has increased their Bitcoin long position to $290 million with a liquidation price set for $102,571. And big news, Scott Bessent has seen as a contender to be the next Fed chair. As you know, I talk about it a lot. In fact, if you go back and look at my last couple of videos, the views are very small compared to the average view because of the fact that I brought up the Fed reserve, and really you can't talk about it on YouTube without getting punished. So this is big news though. Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, could be in for Jerome Powell as the next Fed chair. And more adoption of crypto is coming. Banks are actively exploring acquisitions of crypto exchanges and infrastructure. It won't be long before your local bank offers buying, selling, and custody of digital assets. And CryptoQuant says that Bitcoin, there's a surge in buying from US investors. The positive movement without signs of overheating is a typical pattern seen in rising cycles following a correction, suggesting optimistic movements. And if you remember, just a couple of days ago, we talked about most of this current run and this big push up to the all-time high of 112, now sitting at about 110, has been primarily because of institutional buying. Retail investors are still not here, mainly because they don't have much extra money right now. They're late on everything and they don't have cash to buy. But you know what? Some of those people are finding pennies in the couch trying to buy crypto, and they're pushing into the market right now. So as we see retail interests start to rise, prices could explode. Monica Long says institutional demand for XRP and RLUSD is unlike anything we've ever seen. And more traditional banking adoption. Just in 60% of Fortune 500 companies are working on blockchain projects, Coinbase reports. So we got banks coming on board. Now we have corporations continuing to really onboard rather quickly now. They're all catching on. They all know that this is real. So exciting times ahead. Big news for Ripple. Guggenheim, a major U.S. investment firm, is expanding its digital debt product to the XRP ledger through new partnership with Ripple. Also, report from CryptoQuant, Bitcoin network activity has dropped sharply. Our network activity index hit 3.47 thousand. One of the lowest levels in the past 1.5 years. But data suggests that this kind of silence often precedes the storm. And I know a lot of people are out there wondering, is the bull run over? Is 112,000 the top? Well, an interesting post from Benjamin Cohen here. He says, historically, the BTC market cycle tops when the 200-week simple moving averages crosses the prior all-time high. And if you go back in history, which he's done here, it surely does do exactly that. We are not even close to that yet. It looks like that level, obviously at 69,000, is quite some distance away from the 200 simple moving average. And this thing moves like a snail over time. So where will price be when it finally reaches that level? Are you going to be taking profit at that level? Pay attention to this metric. And the back and forth with China is into crypto, out of crypto, into crypto, out of crypto. Well, China reportedly began accumulating Bitcoin today, June 9th and 10th, possibly to build crypto reserves that could rival the United States. It's time for a gigapump. Also in the news tomorrow, the United States Senate to vote on stablecoin bill this Wednesday. Majority Leader John Thune just filed cloture, a tool used to shut down debate and force a vote on the Genius Act. It is a step forward, or is it too rushed? And just in, Ripple expands its blockchain education push, and APAC committing another $5 million in funding through the University Blockchain Research Initiative across 6 countries. All right, guys, jumping over to XRP in the charts. As we can see, this level of interest that we talked about yesterday and the day before has been respected. Unfortunately, we really wanted to see a break up and out of this area. It got literally to the top of our box and rejected at $2.33 and starting to head back down. Now, remember, some very key areas to keep in mind right here. This is the $2.25 level. We must maintain this level as a support. Otherwise, we may see a return and a continued breakdown back to $1.90. Now, long-term momentum wave is getting close to the zero, unfortunately, and once it breaks to zero, turns to bullish. Unfortunately, it's starting to round off, almost about ready to curl back down. So not super exciting. It got very, very close, but we'll still know in the next 4 to 5 days whether it can surge back through this and break out through there. Now, in our short-term momentum wave, it has peaked out at 100. Last time we peaked out at 100 was all the way back here. That was May 14th, and then we had a pullback into these lower lows. However, the other thing that we talked about 2 days ago was the price breaking to this level, coming back down and retesting off this 225. Now, the day after, it got really close, but it actually bounced off of the 30 and the 50 exponential moving average, surged back up, and then now continuing this drop. But what we could see is a return to this $2.25 level for a retest. We also have our 10-day exponential moving average right here. That is really the key metric we need to stay above. If we maintain above the 10 exponential moving average, we're bullish. Last time we got above it, we continued up. Once we finally broke down, we continued down. So watch for a retest of 225. That holds strong. Then we push up. And remember, this is where we really need to break above this $2.45 level, because that is on our weekly charts, our current high that we were unable to break. We actually created a new higher low. Redo that. We actually created a new lower high on the week of May 12th and the week of May 19th. Unfortunately, not breaking this level here. We had some wicks shoot up above, but the bodies did not break. So our level has been respected for this. Taking a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's long-term daily momentum has surged back to the upside. Short-term momentum getting close to that 100 level. So it does actually have room to run to the upside still. Price did surge up significantly on June 9th. Yesterday was a doji candle. Today, we are starting with a slight pullback. The candle just kicked off, 22 hours, 16 minutes left. But again, we broke above that 10 exponential moving average. We officially broke above that on June 7th. After a little slight pullback here, we got wicks rejecting, finally broke through, and then had a continuation. And the next day's candle, which was on the 9th, absolutely pumped to the upside. The June 10th candle wasn't significant, but it didn't drop. We are still above the 10 exponential average, so look for a continuation here, maybe coming back to retest these levels before surging up. All right, in Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've been waiting for literally weeks now. We know that this surged up to the top, created a bull flag, and it actually broke out of the bull flag pattern yesterday, officially breaking through our level here. Today's candle needs to be a continuation candle, though. It may very well come back, retest this 2,700 level, 2,725, and then move to the upside from there. As we said in the previous video, this is where our target is. We also have the bull flag pattern playing out here. This is the flag pole, which if you connect it from the breakout from down here, up to the top of this pattern, and then you move that candle to the breakout level right there, and that gets us a potential target of $3,600, $3,500, $3,600. The target ends at $3,647, but in reality, I don't like ever having that as an actual target. Now, we could surge all the way through it, but if I'm setting my take profits, I'm a little short of where it's supposed to finish, because most pro traders will get out just before there, so that way you don't have all those losses.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,